And you're good.
Hello, hi everyone who's watching the recording. Thank you for everyone who joined us live tonight. Kim and I are really excited to talk to you guys tonight about being the best coach ever. And this kind of came about because we were talking earlier this week and kind of making a game plan for our month. You know, what our team call is going to be about, like what just, talking about our goals for this month and really just kind of creating a strategy for the next couple weeks. May's a 5-week month. So just kind of figuring everything out. And one of the things that we realized that was getting us really fired up as we started talking was this idea of being the best coach ever. And so we thought, what if we talked in our team call about this idea this week? Because I think sometimes we can get really caught up, right? We can get caught up in the Success Club number. We can get caught up in winning prizes for Summit. We can get caught up in all of these other things. And we're going through new coach training right now. So we can get caught up in thinking so much about this information that we forget why this was so fun to do in the first place and what we actually committed to do in the first place. And so we thought tonight, let's just go back. Let's go back to some of the basics of coaching, the basics of what you need to focus on to make your business successful, and also just some extra tips and tricks of like things that we're really passionate about, not perfect at, but passionate about and working towards every day in terms of being the best coaches that we can possibly be. Because it's our goal and our mission not to just sign up coaches, but it's our heart and our mission and our goal to like empower the people who join our team, to really create a team that feels like a family, that empowers one another, a team of people who are on fire. Because we know coaches who have so many people on their team, but it's not the same dynamic or community that we have, even though we have less people currently on our team. And we want to empower you guys and start at the very beginning and continue to have this theme in our group where we talk about being the best versions of ourselves, which goes back to Kim's team name, Your Best You, but then also being the best coaches we can possibly be. Because when we committed to being a coach, we don't want coaches on our team. We want the best coaches possible on our team. And we truly believe that each of us has that in us, but sometimes we forget. And so tonight we're going back. Also, if you guys haven't seen, Kim posted a really cool video in our team page today, the Your Best Rad Life team page, about team and about her passion for what we're doing, the type of teams that we want to create. And so if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend that you guys just hop into the team page later and check it out and watch her video. She gives some great tips and tricks. And then also I just love her fire and her passion. And it's always really fun when someone starts a video with like, I hope I'm not going to be mean, but I'm just going to share my heart with you. So that's a little teaser. Yeah.
Your feelings, but
yeah, that's right. I'm just really passionate, so it comes off really strong. I don't want to hurt your feelings. So that's a little teaser. Go in and watch her video. She posted it in our team page this afternoon, so it should be near the top. And so as we talk about what does it mean to be the best coach ever, the first couple things we're going to talk about are really going back to the basics. Some of you guys are in our new coach training right now, or just signed up within the last month. And so you have started to hear about these things consistently. But the reason why we talk about these things so much is because they really are like the building blocks to being the best coach ever and the building blocks to building a consistently growing business. And so, and then we're also going to share just some other things that we're really passionate about that we would love for you guys to consider, love for you guys to put in your business and to become passionate about as well. So I'm going to talk to you guys. We're going to split talking about the 4 vital behaviors right now. I'm going to talk about 2 of them, and then Kim's going to talk about 2 of them before we move into some other things. And so for me, the first one that I want to talk about tonight is being proof that the products work. And for me, I just posted a Transformation Thursday post, and so it's like fresh, like it's hot off the press. This is something that I care about and I'm living. But this does not mean that we have to be perfect. This does not mean that we have to have 6 packs. This does not mean that we have to look like bodybuilders or look like bikini competitors. Cliff, I'm trying to be like more like relate to the guys too. So I threw in the bodybuilder. and so, but what this does mean is that I really feel like it's really important for us to be having our business. And I think that part of that comes to using our programs and products and then being proof that they work. Because otherwise we're just other people out there just trying to sell something. And if we don't believe in it enough to actually use it, then what are we doing? And so I encourage you guys to go through a full program. I encourage you guys to be drinking your Shakeology. And I encourage you guys to really be sharing about this community, sharing about your journey sharing about your program as if you like created the program with such passion behind it. Break it down for people, explain what you're offering to people, and be proof. Because if you need to be sharing your journey, whether it's emotional, financial, physical, we need to be proof that if someone joins us in this journey as a challenger or as a coach, that they're going to get something out of it, that like they can achieve whatever we're promising because we're doing that first. We're paving the way for them. And again, we're not perfect, but we're on this journey. And I just last October injured my shoulder, and I gained a bunch of weight because I fell way off track, and then got back on track. And now I'm sharing my journey again, where I was really honest and sharing my journey again of, hey, I got off track. Here's what I look like. And I'm going to commit to a program. I'm going to take you with it through it with me. And then I'm going to show you what happened. And so I did. I posted every day about the 21-day fix. And then tonight I shared my results pictures, and you can see that like something happened. I shared Kim's results pictures from T25 a couple weeks ago, where it was her postpartum picture to 4 months later, and she looked amazing. She committed, and she was able to show that if people join us, you're going to get results. And then the second one I wanted to talk about is the importance of personal development, because I know that it can be scary. I know that we have a lot of concerns. We can get stuck in our own mind where we spend so much time preparing that we never actually do anything, or we start to worry about what other people are thinking of us, or we worry about if we're going to come off the wrong way. And I shared a post in our page last night of a conversation I was having with my brother, where a girl, and it's not like I was that close with her, but we were having a conversation where I was actually going to help her with something, a photography project that she had. Something completely, it had nothing to do with Beachbody. And then I saw her in my suggested friends on Facebook. And so she had unfriended me, and her Facebook is still active. I can still go look at it, but she unfriended me. And for some reason it struck me, I'm like, what did I do? And so I think sometimes we can get stuck in that mindset of like, I don't want people to unfriend me. I don't want to offend anyone. I don't want people to look at me and think, what am I doing? Or who does she or he think that he or she is? And I think that the more that we do personal development, the more confident that we become in what we have to offer. The more that if you're concerned about Shakeology, I shared about there's that Inside Shakeology podcast where you can just find it in the App Store. Each episode is like less than 10 minutes, and it's like the founder and creator of Shakeology answers common questions about it. And he just talks about Shakeology. And listening to those really gave me more confidence to continue talking about Shakeology with people and not feel like it was a salesy thing. And also, like, you can do personal development on leadership, confidence. If you are nervous about being a network marketing professional, if you are, whatever it is, time management, procrastination, there's personal development books on everything. If you want tips on inviting, go to YouTube. The top coaches have posted videos about every topic possible. So if you want to know more about inviting, different ideas for your challenge groups, you don't have to do things the same way that Kim and I do them. We do what works for us and what we've really developed, but that doesn't mean you can't go out and learn something else from someone else and be successful. And so doing this 10 minutes of personal development every single day is so key, because it's going to continue giving you confidence in what you have to offer, which is going to flow into everything else. Your posts, your conversations with people, the way that you carry yourself, that confidence that you get from doing the personal development and from being true to your word and committing to a program or drinking the Shakeology or the performance line or whatever, that confidence that comes from all of those things is going to flow into everything else. So those were the two things that I wanted to talk about in terms of the vital behaviors. And then I'm going to pass it over to Kim and how the two other vital behaviors flow into being the best coach ever before we share some other tips.
Thanks, Britt.
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah, I think I was fired up this morning when I was listening to the National Wake Up Call, and I was 4 days late or whatever it is. It's not Thursday. Now, granted, I always listen to it late because I like the podcast version rather than the live version, and I can never do live. And she really talks about having belief in self, belief in the product, and belief in team. And I think that you just hit it. And I think the most important part about this is if you're not in it to grow it, then never take anything we're saying seriously. Be a hobby coach, be a discount coach, be whatever you are. But the minute you want to take it to the next level, know that there are tangible things to do, that all you have to do is do them every day, and you will see the gains. And so I just want to like put that out there, because I know there are a lot of coaches who are just kind of like dabbling in it. And I consider you a dabbler if, you know, like if you're not really posting on social media and you're not really doing the 4 vital behaviors, then you're not really doing the business. And that's okay. But that's the most important part. That doesn't mean that you're any less on my team or our team. We still love you, and we're so like, you're part of our team, and we're here for you every step of the way. I just feel like sometimes I think people who are kind of in it, you start to feel like almost like frustrated that you're not doing more. Don't feel frustrated. Just enjoy the benefits. Enjoy drinking Shakeology and enjoy that workout and get that transformation and break it down to the minimal part. So sorry, I just had to little.
No, I love it.
But yeah, so tonight I'm going to talk about inviting and recognition. So I'm going to talk about recognition first, because sometimes I think it's easier to remember what Beachbody is all about. And really, truly, the mission of Beachbody is to end the trend of obesity, period. That is why I'm on board with this company. That is why I believe in it. That is why I shout it from the rooftops, because what they do is what they preach. And I learned firsthand this past week when I went to Punta Cana on a success trip. They pull out all the stops. When I showed up at that hotel, and this is part of the recognition, they treat you well when you do well. And I pulled up at the front lobby, and there was literally like women with feathers, and there was drinks, and there was live music, and there was dancing, and I mean, it was like the nines. Like, they pulled out everything. When you went and worked out with the super trainers, the music was amazing, and like the sound was fantastic, and it's air conditioning, and we're not like dying because we're in Dominican Republic. And after it's over, there's these fabulous waiters and Shakeology bars, and it's beachy and it's fun and they're fantastic. This is the stuff that they, and to learn, I actually learned there was $750 worth of credit in my room, and I didn't even know until the very last day, and I never even used it. But anyway, I think I bought my kids a little drum. That was like all I could find that could use it. But so they go all out when you go all out, right? Like, they're not just going to give you the gift, and they're not just going to let you go on this free trip unless you're doing stuff, right? Unless you're hitting Success Club and you're growing your team. And if that's what you're in it for, then that's what you're doing for. So the recognition that Beachbody gives is phenomenal. I mean, the fact that every month they're sending out a gift to you for helping people. Like, really, like, so if you think of this as your job, here's your job, and imagine you being in your office, and because you did your job today, someone comes and gives you a gift. Pretty much is what Beachbody is doing every single month. They are pouring into you. They're giving you tools. And I just talked to someone today that was like, you know what, if Beachbody never ever works out for me as like a business, like if I never really like get my running, and I just am kind of a hobby coach and I help people here and there, I have 100% improved as a person. And that's, to me, that's a life. That's an entire life. I would have gone through as a depressed mom. I would have been mad at my husband. I would have been uncomfortable in my clothes. I would have been depressed. I would have been, moments of suicide. I would have been binge eating. I would have been. And it just goes on and on and on. And Beachbody saved me. And that's the stuff that we hold on to. That's what we like throw out there. So when you're inviting people to join you on this journey, that's what you're saving them from. You're not joining them or you're not inviting them so they can be a Success Club member. You're inviting them because you have something that can actually save their life, that can actually save their marriage. Guys, divorce is high. And do you want to know what leads from divorce rates? It's because people don't communicate, because they're hiding behind who they really are, because they're afraid of who they are, because they're so unhappy in their whole being that they stop communicating with their spouse, and everything falls to bits. So truthfully, Beachbody is not just like, I mean, I say it all the time, but sometimes I even have to remind myself, it really is from the inside out. It really is. You might have 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 40 pounds to lose. We're all in the same boat. We're all going through life, and we're all struggling. Unless you're perfect and your name's Jesus, then I don't know. But you know what I mean? So that, I think that when you have that, like in your brain, when you're inviting never comes out. as something salesy. It never comes out as something that you're trying to push on somebody. It only ever comes out as you want to just, hey, you liked my post, and are you on a health journey? Are I struggling in this area? I have tools. I literally have a menu. Would you like a menu? I saw online that you're having trouble with meal planning. Would you like my meal plan? Give it to them. Give them the tools for free. They don't have to join your group. They don't have to buy Shakeology. Just give it to them and watch what returns, because then they start asking questions. Well, what is this red box? What are these green containers? What is this yellow thing? What is Shakeology? Why is it different than ideology or, vegan Vega One or whatever? Ideal shape. That was the one I heard today. Ideology. Ideal shape.
It's okay. It's fine.
We got it.
When you have that as your backbone of your inviting, it just becomes natural. And a no, we say it all the time, but a no is not today. It does not mean it's not forever, because I have a list of every person, and I wanted to bring it up. I got my 2-year Shakeology canister today.
Oh, yay!
Yeah, with you've been drinking 2 years. And then I just lost my train. That was oh my goodness.
Following up, maybe we're talking about no is not no.
My list of the people that you've been talking to forever, like from the beginning. And for new coaches, I cannot stress this is so essential. Write those people down. Make George Smith interested in Shakeology, said no. Eventually, they're not on that list anymore, and they're crossed out because they're drinking Shakeology, because they all come back because your consistency shows them, man, what does she have that this person over here doesn't have? Or, wow, that person over there has been drinking, whatever forever, but they don't look like that, or they don't have that energy. It's because it's the real thing. I would have never joined a network marketing company ever in my life if it was not the very best one. And I 100% believe that. I'm not selling any leggings, and I'm not selling lip scents, and I'm not saying that those are bad, but I can't believe it's not going to save my life. They make me comfy. I've got an entire LuLaRoe outfit on right now, but it doesn't save my life.
I'm wearing lip scents, but it doesn't save my life.
No, it hurts my finances. It hurts my marriage. If I have to explain to James one more time what LuLaRoe is, he's like, so find the heartbeat behind that. Find the heartbeat, and I'll tell you, I used to sit there and knock my head against that wall because I'm like, what are these inviting? All these top coaches just invite. What does that mean? All it means is making connections. All it means is talking to people. All it means is making sure your posts are inviting and there's no guessing what they're doing. It's not a scam, so there's no reason to hide it behind weird words or weird, you're trying to oh, but if you're interested, no. Do you want to have your life change? Join me. You don't need to say anything else. So just be who you are in all your posts, in all your invites, and I promise it will return tenfold. But you got to do the work. End of story. You got to do the work.
Yeah, and I think that's something that Kim and I. One of the reasons why we're such great success partners, even though we're at different stages of life, and that's sometimes hard because I work all day and she works all day in a different way, right? She's a full-time mom. And so, but her evenings are with her family and my evenings are free, but all day I can't talk because I'm at work. So that's tough. But one of the reasons why we're such great success partners is because our work ethic and our drive and our goals for this business are the same. And so I would encourage you guys to really, if you haven't done this, figure out what you really want from this business. And this is something that we do every single month. It's at the beginning of the month, how many lives do you want to change this month? So then make that number and then strategize yourself. The way that part of a great coach, it's making a plan, because this is our business. So make a business plan for yourself every month. How many lives do you want to change this month? Okay. Now each week, how many lives do I need to change to hit that number? And then, okay, so how many conversations do I need to have each day so that I can hit my weekly goal to hit my monthly goal? And I think sometimes we get so caught up in waiting till the end of the month because we just want to help 3 people this month to hit Success Club. And it's the last week of the month and it's super stressful. But it's hey, if we know that our goal is to help 3 people this month, that's 1 person each week with, go for 4. Like, just try to have one person each week. So you're going to overshoot it, right? And so then how many people do you need to be talking to help one person per week? And I think sometimes we lose it, right? Because it's like, oh, we have 4 weeks to help 3 people and we just lose it. But I think too that normally we never go past 6:30, but I know my new coaches don't believe that because we just had that new coach mentor call and it went way long. Normally though, Kim and I are really good at ending at 6:30. But I do want to touch on too, and Kim might have some more follow-ups too, is part of being a great coach is following through on your word. And something that Kim and I are really passionate about is our integrity. And we even have it in our banner and our team page. One of the things is authenticity. It's authenticity, boldness, and commitment. And that's our team, almost our mission statement and that authenticity. So this is exactly what Kim touched on in her video in the team page today that I referenced at the beginning of this call. But it's you guys, if you're posting, if you're inviting people into this group that's going to be life-changing, where you have themes, you have prizes, you're going to show up for them, it's this amazing community, then we each as coaches need to show up and be in those communities. And that doesn't mean we're going to be perfect. That doesn't mean we're not going to have off days. That doesn't mean there's not going to be something where you post hey, my whole life just went off track today. You guys, a lot of my posts this month have been, hey, work is so crazy. I just closed my computer and it's 10 p.m. and I'm super stressed. And I'm so thankful that I had Shakeology and you guys in a 30-minute workout. I think we can be really real, but that still means we need to be present. We need to follow through on our words. We need to be the best challenger in the group so that people follow our lead. Angela, who's on this call, is the best challenger in our group. And she was the best challenger before she even became a coach. So much so that when she became a coach and I announced her as one, everyone was so excited, but they were surprised she already wasn't one, And it's we all need to be like that every single month. And that really inspired and encouraged me to get back into having that excitement in my posts too. Because it's not just the check in the box of, hey, I checked in. But that excitement of we need to lead with excitement and passion so that other people can continue to have that in their journey as well. And so that does mean comment on your challenger stuff, make sure that you check in with them. Kim has a great system for checking in with all of our people. For me, I go through and I see if someone hasn't checked in 3 days in our group, I send them a message. And then I try to message every person once a week, and so it's let's be intentional coaches. And then that's amazing because I truly believe that our work starts after we get them in the group. So I don't focusing too much on that Success Club because I feel I don't want to reward too much. I think Success Club is so important and it's a non-negotiable in my business because I want to move my business forward. And that's something that Beachbody has done studies on and has shown that if you want to continue to move your business forward, you need to help at least 3 people a month. So that's my goal. But my passion is once we have people in our group, what do we do with them? My passion is that someone who starts my group finishes the group with more confidence than they had when they joined it. My passion and mission is to help you take steps towards implementing and establishing a lifestyle that you can love and maintain. My goal is not to just get you in the group, but to have you be an active participant in the group and for your life to start changing because of this group. And so I think too, having that passion about my groups helps me in inviting people to the group, right? It helps me in posting about the groups. It helps everything because I'm so much more confident about what we have to offer. And so I think part of being the best coach ever is being the best challenger ever and is also following through on your promise that you're going to show up for people. So I know, Kim, I know it's 6:30, but did you have anything else that you wanted to add at the end of that?
No, I think just not letting anybody fall off. And even if you learn that person is someone, hey, I'm actually just kind of shy and I don't want to post, that's fine. But then you make that your personal mission to check in with them because that's what you said you were going to do when you signed up. The worst feeling for me is when all of a sudden I realize someone's not gone and I'm I haven't seen them. Where did they, because it's just especially when your group is big and there's a lot of people, it sometimes you think you've talked to them, but all of a sudden you're where do they go? And you feel it's
a bad feeling.
Awful feeling because you spent $160 or really $172 or really if you're Canadian, $186. Mm-hmm. So you've put in the work and someone said they were going to show up for you. So your job is to show up. And I'm learning that my groups apparently are too large. And I've had a couple girls say, actually really only had one, but it feels like a couple. She's I think I'm just going to check in, do it on my own. And I was so hurt about it. But at the end of the day, maybe that's something I need to take into consideration and run a smaller group for people who want more intimate. And the only other thing I was going to touch on, Britt, that you also, by running these amazing challenge groups and people seeing and having fun and loving and gaining, there is nothing greater than knowing that two people don't know each other and then scrolling through Facebook like 3 days later and seeing them like interact.
Yeah.
You made like a little love connection, you know? Like, how cool is that? And so we're in a day and age where like we're not making connections anymore. We're just like falling off. So these people, they have a deep connection. They're going through a hard thing together. So however we can like make that happen is pretty cool. And it also makes it really easy to invite to coaching, because when something is so great, these challengers, they have to become your coaches. They will become your very best coaches. But you have to lead a great group to show them what it's all about. Yeah. So, I mean, this really is the bread and butter. Your group sucks, you know, let's figure that out.
Yeah.
Let's really figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys, I hope that some of this was helpful, because I think this is something that we could continue talking about, because even we talked earlier this week and our conversation was so much longer, just about our passion for being the best coaches that we can be. And then also really what can we do to become better coaches? And then how can we empower leaders on our team to also have that burning desire to just be the best version of themselves and to be the best coaches possible? Because we want to be known, right? Like, we want our teams to be known as people, like as teams that are fired up, who are passionate, who are making differences in people's lives. And that starts with us being those people, but then also us with trying to just continue to empower you and give you all the tools that we can to help you guys be the best coaches and you guys be the best versions of yourselves. And so if you guys have questions, just please reach out to us. This is something that we are passionate about all the time. Like, you can reach out to us anytime, whether it's me or Kim, and let us know, you know, if you have your own tips for the best ways that we can be the best coaches possible, just share them in the team page, because we really want that to be a place where all of us post. We don't want it to just feel like it's just me and Kim. And I love that I've seen more people posting it recently with questions or recognition. And we want everyone to feel like that's their page. So if you want to give a shout out to someone, give a shout out to someone. If you want to share something from your personal development, share that. If you want to share something that you've learned that day, share it in the team page. Like, that's really like our central location where all of us can learn and grow and communicate with one another. And so please, like, use that as your resource, and just know that we are with you in every step of the way, and that we want to show up for you, and that we believe in you, and that we're really excited to be on this journey with you.
Yay!
Yay! Do you guys have any questions?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't think you could hear me. I wanted to say thank you earlier about that shout out, but I think, like, I do have one friend who she's really skeptical about posting, and I talked to you a little bit about that, Britt.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not shy about posting, but I think a lot of the people I know are shy about just posting their, just like the day, like the booty, better booty challenge, like just even posting of what they did. I think they're just shy about that. So I'm trying to figure out a way to, I did try to tell them that they don't have to post pictures of themselves, but that they should just post just what they're doing, just to, let us all know that they're doing it. And then, I did let them know that, I told them that they could see all the encouragement that they get. I mean, if they could only see our Beauty and the Beast challenge, all of the comments and the, the uplifting support that we get, I think people, once they get in it, I think they'll be as excited about it. But I think it's just getting them in there is the difficult part, is opening their minds to it.
Yeah.
Look, it took me a while to get going. But now I love it. Now I'm just like, all I talk about.
Yeah, well, I think Angela and I talked for over a year, you guys. So talk about that follow-up list. And now she's a rock star. Yeah, and like she's going to Summit. Like, so please, like, as long as you're genuine about it, like, and the people know, like, you're just really excited about it, like, keep following up. Kim, what would you share about the for like the friends who feel nervous about posting?
At the end of the day, you can't make somebody post.
Yeah, I know.
You really, And the more you get on them about it, the more they're just going to be even more turned off about the idea of coaching.
Mhm.
I would say that all you can do is love them through it and keep inspiring them, even if it's just in messages. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think when you just keep showing up for people, they eventually, all of a sudden, one day they just come out of the woodwork, and they see, like, because you know what ends up usually happening, and unfortunately, is that person will go and try something else, and they will fail, and then they come back. You know, that's usually the cycle of what ends up happening with people.
Yeah.
I wanted to add in, even though I don't coach, like I'm starting coaching, so I have 3 people that are about to be on board, which is awesome. But they brought that apart. But like, even with personal training and just like working in mentorship, I think it's that the reason why a lot of people aren't posting is because they're still under construction, in a sense that they haven't hit their niche. And so like, if I'm in the process of, and I'm not comfortable where I'm at, and yes, I'm supposed to share, I'm not going to share until I hit my milestone.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing, because I mean, I have people that I train now, and I'm like, post about this, like, just talk about because even like when you wake up in the morning, you're like, man, I feel sluggish today, but I went to the gym. You know, some people have a hard time even stating that, because the intimidation factor of the people around them, so their inner circle is what's holding them back, because they're still on that milestone. So I don't know who they have to wake up to every day, or who they have to answer to every day, or they have a sibling that's hard on them. But I have one person in particular I've been working with 2 months, and she refuses to even post anything on. She's always on Snapchat, always on Facebook, all that, and never post about gyms, but will post about going out. And I'm like, you have to, what is it? And her comment was, I haven't hit my milestone. And so I kind of like really thought about that. So it might be that, like, hitting them on the side and asking them, like, hey, what is your milestone? Like, what are you trying to accomplish out of this? Like, what do you want? What do you want to see? You know, and hitting them from a different angle, because they might even be like, well, this is it. Like, and that's something I've realized I never took into a thought.
Yeah,
I mean, and I get it too, because I mean, if you look at any of my Facebook posts, you'll see a lot of them, probably 95% of them are all about here and not anywhere else. But
you do have a nice face.
Thank you. But I've been trying really hard the last, I don't know, year and a half to really push myself out of my comfort zone. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, that me joining the challenge and me really putting myself out there and supporting the other ladies in the challenge, and you know, and then in this group, pardon me, it really has opened me up to really stepping even further out, like going to Summit. Like,
I'm so excited. Yeah,
I would have never thought to do something like that. But again, it's about new experiences, really pushing myself, and you know, I'm really enjoying being part of Beachbody. I mean, and I love the technology, like the shake. I love it. I look forward to it every day. And it doesn't taste like it's something that, you know, we have to take, or, you know, we have to drink. It's actually something that we get to drink. And so I think I'm just going to, with those friends that are having difficulty really opening up and kind of jumping in, I'm going to, and I know, I mean, they're really close friends. So, and they know me. So I think if I sat one-on-one with them, maybe just talk to them about, you know, kind of pushing a little bit further out of their comfort zone. And then, you know, I mean, we don't have to be, I mean, it can't be a Brit, you know, like I'm trying to just be me, and you know, I want them to be comfortable enough to do something healthy for themselves. Because I know
and I would say too, like, even just, I kind of like both, like what Kim and Cliff were kind of saying, which I also just clung on to, was like meeting them where they're at. You know, I think a conversation to have with them is that, like, being a part of accountability group is going to be a little bit uncomfortable for them. But, you know, one of my favorite, like, quotes or whatever mindsets about fitness is that I've seen a lot, and I've even posted about it. So yes, like, doing this group is going to take you out of your comfort zone a little bit. It's going to be a little uncomfortable, but, you know, like, feeling overweight, feeling uncomfortable in your own skin, feeling like always tired, feeling like you always wish that you had gotten started sooner, feeling like you just like want, like, to, you know, be more confident. That's hard too. That's uncomfortable too. And so just like picking your heart, like choosing your uncomfortable, you know, like either way you're going to be uncomfortable. And I think sharing with them that's part of your journey, or like that mindset, but then also saying, like, you can join the group, and then if those are some of your close friends, like maybe you do like what Kim said, like you have just like maybe a group message with just them, You know, and I think that once they start seeing, though, the posts and they start seeing the variety of women and men that we have in our groups, like the different sizes and the different journeys, I think for them, it'll start to feel easier, because I think it's when you have no idea, like you can kind of just build something up in your head, and you can build it to be this thing that once you're in it, you realize, oh, oh, okay. Yeah. Like I'm not, you know, there's so many different ages, sizes, like everything, you know, in this group. Goals.
It's definitely not as intimidating as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It's been very welcoming, which is, you know, was really surprising. Yeah. And I think that's the biggest pull I get, you know, to staying in it and really trying to push others to join or be a part of it, or at least listen to it. Cause it is welcoming. It's not, you know, you're not, I didn't feel bombarded by anything. Like I felt, you know, you checked in with me periodically, which I appreciate. And then at one point I was just like, okay, I gotta bite the bullet. And I did. And
you're like,
I love it. And it's been good. Yeah. So.
And I think too, like if you share that story publicly on your Facebook as well, that's really helpful too. Because I think for people who you're talking to one-on-one, sometimes the one-on-one can feel really direct, but then if they see you publicly post about it too, or for other people who might have that same concern, but who haven't actually told you that they have that concern, because they're still just watching you from the other side of the phone screen, right? But if you talk about, hey, before I joined this, sure, like say like it took me a year to jump into the accountability group, even though you shared also that you tried Shakeology 4 years ago or whatever and you liked it. Like, but what was missing was the accountability portion, which is what you shared in our group. But continuing to share that story on your social media publicly to people who aren't in our group, I think is huge. And share any concern or fears that you had, anything that prevented you from joining originally, but then also in that same post, sharing what the transition was, like what then got you over that hump into the group, and then what you're experiencing now, I think is huge, because then people can like see that journey. If they're like, I'm where she was, like I'm right there. I feel I don't really want to post. I'm nervous about what the accountability group is going to entail. I'm nervous about what the people in there are going to be like. I'm nervous, whatever. Yeah. I'm nervous that I'm going to do this again after 4 years and not like it or not commit to it, whatever you were thinking. Share that and then say, but I finally decided to bite the bullet and it was time. And then I joined it, and this is what my experience has been since then. So take people on the journey with you, because then your friends who you're having one-on-one conversations with, they're gonna see that it's just gonna continue to reaffirm for them like who you are, where you're coming from, what your heart is, and all of it, and that you're a real person. You had concerns, but how you overcame them.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Any other questions? That was a great one, Angela. No. There's no pressure to, and I know Cliff, we talked like on that last team call for like an hour and a half.
I mean, I have, so, like, I have them, but they're just no. I think it's good. I think my biggest one I want to do is it's weird for me because I'm the only guy, and I talked to Lindsay about it today, and she's like, "Oh, you guys have a call?" And I was like, "Yeah," and I want to listen because again, I'm a guy, and I'm the only guy in this group, and it's not bad, but I enjoy it. I embrace it because I like it. But I think my issue is what are the best personal development books in that sense? Because I don't ever, like you said, never sound salesy, and I'm not, and I believe in being true for the product. And again, I was reluctant myself of being a personal trainer and doing all that. You know, you think you know what it is, and my story goes, I was using products that I thought were helping me, but they were damaging my body. And I went to a checkup to a doctor, and he's like, "Dude, your body's not okay." And I'm like, "What? I feel amazing." He's like,
"Not okay."
It's not. And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "What are you taking?"
Medical term.
I really do research on everything, and that's why. I mean, Britt, you were talking to me. I had Jen talking to me. She did like join. I was like, I have to do my research, and it was research. But for me, I think it's a little different because for you females, you guys have a connection. Like you guys can kind of connect a little bit and do that. But I think my hardest thing is getting gentlemen to join this. I have like 15 dudes that I work closely with or talk closely with. I have one jumping on board tonight, which is good, and he wants to try everything, and I'm like, cool, you know, I'm talking to him, and I trained with him before, and he's doing it because he's figuring out that he followed after me, and I'm like, dude, you got to stop doing this, like it's not good, you know. And so I think my biggest thing is like, what are some personal development books, like, because I know you put them all in there, and I think one was On the Edge, and I want to get that book because I looked at it.
Slide Edge. Oh, look, Angela's got all her books. That's
I just got them today when I got home.
Oh, I love it.
I know something was like Eat He was
Eat
like,
That Frog. Yeah, she
"Eat
was
that
just holding
frog."
that
Yeah.
up. Yeah,
And then there
that
was
one's
something
awesome.
edge, something like edge or
The slide edge. So the
that's
slide
what it
edges is
was.
great. GoPro, I think, is great also, like when you're just starting to get into network marketing, which
Mhm.
is a little bit of a transition from you helping people one-on-one, but
Mhm.
to how to like scale this to a business. So I think those would be two great to start. And then what kind of book are you looking for? Like
Um,
for network marketing specifically,
that
or
one.
for,
That one, yes. I mean, I can tell stories all day. I have a lot, and
yeah.
I mean, you've seen my posts, like how I
Yeah,
am.
they're awesome.
My whole mindset's just off of like coming from what you come from, and you have the control to get where you want to go, kind of thing. But I think
Yeah.
it's also transitioning into a different world of marketing it to a bigger audience.
Yeah.
And then actually, because people will like it and comment it, and be like it's inspiring. But then how do you flip that into like, okay, cool. I know that's something that you're struggling with because I know people very well that are especially on my Facebook. And like, how do you guys? I guess the plan is like, how do you go from your post, and then if someone reaches out, what's the follow up on that?
So something that Kim and I both like, we learned from a different training called The Art of Recruiting. But if someone likes or comments on your post, you can message them directly and you just say something along the lines of like, hey, thank you so much for like liking or commenting on my post. Like, I really appreciate that you supported my health and fitness journey. I know it just took a second out of your day, but I really appreciate it. Are you on your own journey? Like, are you on your own health journey? And then if they say yes, that's a great conversation into continue to talk about our groups, talk about coaching. Like, have you thought about paying it forward? If they say no, then that's a great opportunity to invite them into your next online accountability group, but then sometimes there are people who don't like and who don't comment. And for me, I just try to be intentional about liking or commenting on other people's posts on Facebook or on Instagram. If it's their birthday, I just send them a message that just says happy birthday. Just ways to connect with them, which is what Kim referenced earlier, connecting, so that like they see you, right? So then when it's time for my next group, I'll just send them a voice memo and I just say something. I'm very direct. Like, I don't pretend to start a conversation with someone. Oh, hi, Andrea. It's so nice to see your pretty face.
Oh, hey.
Hi. Hey, girl.
Hi.
So you'll hear different coaches do it differently. I don't pretend to start a conversation with them if my goal is to really invite them into the group. I just straight up just say, like, whatever it is. If I saw that they just, if I congratulated them, I send them a message because they just got engaged. And part of why I send them a direct message is want to make sure that they see it, because if 1,000 people are commenting congratulations on your engagement on that picture, like, you're likely not going to, remember that person did it. But then also because Facebook thinks if you message someone that you want to be friends, and so it boosts your affinity. So then they're going to start seeing more of your posts because they're going to be like, oh, you guys are buddies. Like, you want to see each other's posts. And so I message someone so that then they start seeing more of my posts, including the ones about my health and fitness groups and my health and fitness journey. Also, then when it's time for my next group, I might say, hey, like, congratulations again on your engagement. I just love seeing all of like the celebration posts, or I love seeing your pictures or whatever. Or Cliff, because you're engaged, you could just be like, it's like such a great season to be in, and then for me, because I'm talking about what I saw on their Facebook, it's easy for me to say, and I don't know if you've seen what I do on Facebook, but I host online health and fitness accountability groups. I provide meal plans and shopping lists. I'll help you find a program that's right for you based on your goals and your fitness preferences. And there's no pressure, but like the deadline to enroll is whatever date. Please just let me know, like, are you interested in learning more? And again, Kim might do it very differently, so you'll find what kind of your flow is, but like, that's kind of how it works for me.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, this is Katie on the phone. I have a question feeding off the deadline. So how many days before like a challenge group is your deadline for somebody to join in order to get their stuff on time?
So if you really want someone to be able to get their stuff on time, they need to safely, they need to order it a week in advance. And then that's still kind of cutting it close because they won't necessarily have time to go through it. So if you're on the West Coast, we get things a little sooner because the shipping facility, the main one is in Nevada. So you can kind of, for me, I accept anyone who wants to be in the group. I set the deadline at the Wednesday before the Monday it starts because I create the sense of urgency to get people to order, because then they still might not get it right on time, but they'll get it pretty close to the start date. But I feel like sometimes we just wait until we feel like you get that final email that's like, okay, the sale ends tomorrow. And then that's when you actually buy whatever it was, and it's like, okay, like the deadline for enrollment is today. So I'd rather have them do it 4 or 5 days in advance on that Wednesday, and I can get them into the group into the prep week for the group, as opposed to waiting until, but then I don't do it a week in advance, because I try to get as many people as possible into the group.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know.
So I'm running a group with Kim this month.
Yeah.
And our prep week is this week. So last Wednesday, you would have posted on Facebook and said, like, today's the deadline.
Katie, I just posted yesterday. Yesterday was the deadline.
Okay. Yeah, because I can't really, that's like what I'm struggling with the most, because I put a deadline once, but I felt like I did it kind of early. And I still could have gotten a couple more people, but I had already said, like, oh, today's the deadline. So I was like, dang it.
You don't want to, like, backtrack? Like, there's still spots. It's like, okay, no one is No, but that's a good, and you'll get the flow.
Yeah, you can walk people through if they don't get their stuff. Like, it's not going to be the end of the world, especially now that everything is streamed.
Yeah.
I joined Jen's group a week late because I'm still in her accountability group, and I just joined in a week late, and she threw me on a team, and it worked out, and it's still good. But I mean, I think it's smart because people are reluctant. They might take time to jump in.
Yeah.
But you're saying like 7 days, 10 to 7 days is the deadline?
So for me, my prep week starts on this month. I do a half prep week. So my prep starts on May 17th, and that Wednesday, May 17th, and that's also the deadline to enroll in my group. So it's the deadline to enroll, and it's day one of the prep. And then I prep until Sunday, and then Monday we start. So we start on May 22nd this month, and our prep, the deadline to enroll is May 17th. So that's what I do the Wednesday before we start. So it's like half a week before we start is mine. I think Jen might do hers a week in advance, because I just saw that her deadline to enroll, or no, maybe hers was today. So I think sometimes people do a week in advance so that people can have time to get everything, which is great. I know for me, I got mine on when I did my first challenge group. My package came on Tuesday, so I really started Wednesday, and it worked out fine. And so I think, like, I'm all about, like, getting people in. So.
I have a question on that. So say like I have 3 people and I want to get them signed up, and they're signed up this month. Like, how do I get them into a challenge group if I don't have, because I mean, most challenge groups, I'm guessing you want at least 8 people. So if I have 3, do I reach out to my upline and be like, hey, can we join your group? And then I code
Oh,
it?
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So what